Alright, good evening ladies. Welcome back to Compound Interesting. In today's video, I want to share with you 7 different heuristics or rules that you can use to find the best coins to invest in during this bear market to maximize your returns in the upcoming bull market. And I will also share with you, in my opinion, which coins in the market best fit these heuristics. Now, sorry if my audio quality isn't as sharp today. I am getting a new microphone very soon, so please just bear with me for this one video. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's just dive straight into the first heuristics. Now, the first heuristic is probably the most important heuristic. And a heuristic is just a simple rule, like a rule of thumb that you can use to be able to determine between two coins which one is better if everything else being equal. So the first and probably one of the most important heuristic is adoption. So are people actually using this coin? Are people actually using this project? Are people actually using this product that this project have built? How do you determine which products actually have the most adoption? So one way you can determine is by, say, for example, this project is a DEX, like a decentralized exchange, or an NFT exchange. You can look at the volume being passed through there on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. So here is an example of the top DEXs by volume, the top decentralized exchanges where people can trade shitcoins and trade different currencies. Now, obviously, Uniswap is the biggest DEX by volume. It has the most volume flowing through it, but does that necessarily mean it's the best investment? That's just the first heuristic. You also have to determine what is a better way to determine which is the best investment is which of these DEXs has the most volume in comparison to its market cap, because obviously Uniswap has a really big market cap. Now here's a pie chart of the top NFT marketplaces by volume, and at the moment the biggest by volume is Blur, but Blur has quite a low market cap in comparisons to Uniswap. But at the same time, people are farming the Blur token because it was a season 2 airdrop. I did a video on that if you want to try and take advantage of that airdrop, that upcoming airdrop. So it's undetermined how much this volume is going to stay after the Blur Season 2 airdrop concludes. Like, is OpenSea just going to take over Blur once again once the Blur farming has come to an end? And don't worry, I will share with you the coins that do have a good ratio between the amount of volume in comparisons to the market cap of those coins. So as we saw, Uniswap has really high volume, but the token doesn't really have a huge amount of utility. It's basically just a governance token, and the only reason they dropped it is because their competitors were dropping tokens. Like SushiSwap dropped a token and people started moving to SushiSwap then. So Uniswap said, okay, we better drop a token, and that's the only reason really that they dropped the Uniswap token. Okay, so a really good example of a DEX accruing value for the investors in the token is GMX. So GMX, 30% of all transaction fees accrues to the GMX holders or to the GMX token. This is also true for Ethereum, which is another really good example of a coin with good utility, because you need to use Ethereum to use the Ethereum network, and a portion of the fee that you pay on every transaction is burned. Another coin that I can think of off the top of my head, which with great utility but a different type of utility, is ApeCoin. So we know ApeCoin is going to be the main currency inside the other side metaverse being created by Yuga Labs, and everything that Yuga Labs sells in the future will be sold in ApeCoin. So any future NFTs, any future merch, etc., etc. Let's move on to the next heuristic. The next really important heuristic, and a bit of a simple one, is the inflation rate. You want a coin with as low an inflation rate as possible. I'm sure that's pretty obvious to you why. And also a good way to check this is to see if there is a total cap on the number of coins that can ever be minted. Like usually this is like 1 billion or 1 trillion or something. And what is the circulating supply in comparisons to the total that could potentially be minted? If it's only like 30%, that's quite low, but it's manageable. If it's only 10%, that's terrible, obviously. But anything over 50%, it's a little bit safer. And obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum are well into the 80 to 90% already. Now, obviously Ethereum doesn't have a hard cap like Bitcoin with the 21 million, but Ethereum's inflation rate is pretty much around 0%. It's actually set probably going to decrease over the next few years until it flatlines around 100 million Ethereum tokens. So Bitcoin and Ethereum obviously both perfectly fit this heuristic of having a low inflation rate, or most of the coins that can be in circulation. All right, heuristic number 4. Does it have good fundamentals? Does it fit a narrative that is popular or will be popular in the future? Some examples of current narratives are like AI, layer 2s, ZK roll-ups, and in the future, in the next bull market, probably meme coins will have the fundamentals and fit some sort of narrative again, like they did a couple of years ago. I will give some examples of coins that fit these narratives at the end of the video. All right, heuristic number 5. If it's a product, is it actually a good product? How can you determine this? The best way to determine it, obviously, is to actually go onto the platform or go and use the product yourself. For example, if it's a gaming coin, is the actual game any good? I talked about gaming in my last video if you want to check that out. Or if it's a centralized exchange, are the fees cheap? Do the transactions go through fast? Is the UI good? Is the UX good? Etc, etc. So a good product, if you actually go on and you're like, whoa, this is amazing. Just like what I experienced when I went onto GMX for the first time. I really thought it was a great platform, and that's why it's taken off to the moon right now, or it's just taken off to the moon in regards to users and adoption. So we'll talk about that further on in the video. But obviously, if it's a good product, it's probably going to get adoption, and if it's going to get adoption, the price is going to go up. Heuristic number 6, and this is a little bit counterintuitive, but the higher the fees, the better. I don't just mean per transaction that the fees are very high. I mean in aggregate, the total fees that a platform, if it is a platform that generates fees, the higher the fees that it generates, the better. That means people are willing to spend a lot of money to use this product. So we can see the platforms that use up the most fees at the moment are Ethereum by itself, Uniswap, GMX, Aave, Curve. So more fees is a good sign. It means people are willing to spend a lot of money to use this product. All right, so the final heuristic for the day, another simple one. If applicable, the higher the total value locked, or the TVL, the better. So a lot of DEXs have a high TVL, and a lot of chains have a high TVL. So the higher this TVL, the better. It means more people are using it, etc, etc. So here's a chart showing all the TVL of various protocols. You can see obviously Ethereum number 1, Tron number 2, I didn't even know that. But as you can see, Arbitrum and Optimism are both exploding in TVL, and they're both layer 2s on top of Ethereum. Okay, and we have a bonus heuristic because I forgot to say this one, but we can also look at daily transactions. So if there's more transactions, or if there's more daily active users, it's probably a better heuristic. But here are 2 charts showing examples of coins or projects with high transactions and high daily active users. This chart compares Optimism, Arbitrum, and Ethereum by the number of transactions per day. You can see Ethereum still actually has the most transactions per day, despite it having higher transaction costs than Arbitrum or Optimism. But at times, once Arbitrum has actually overtaken Ethereum, and I think in time, Arbitrum and Optimism will both, or maybe one of them will completely take over. But in time, I assume these will have a lot more transactions per day than Ethereum at the end of the day. Okay, the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's start talking about which coins actually fit these heuristics the best. So obviously we can talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Matic. They all would definitely fit the majority, if not all, of the criteria that I mentioned. However, they also have very high market caps. So for this video, I kind of wanted to delve into coins that might be a little bit lower market cap and potentially have higher return potential, although I am heavily exposed to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Matic as well. So keep that in mind that there are core positions in my portfolio. But I wanted to go into slightly lower market cap coins for potentially higher returns. So what are some of these coins that actually fit these heuristics that do have lower market caps? Okay, so I obviously talked about Arbitrum and Optimism, and they are exploding in growth, in users, in transactions, in volume, in total value locked. You can invest in Arbitrum already, you can invest in Optimism already. They did their airdrop recently, but Arbitrum hasn't done an airdrop yet. So I am using the Arbitrum network. I am trading on GMX, which is a DEX on top of Arbitrum, and GMX is exploding in volume, and in the hopes that I will get some sort of Arbitrum airdrop in the future, because that Arbitrum, once it goes live, will be valued in the billions. 100% about it. But GMX is a beautiful product that is built on top of Arbitrum. It also, you can use Avalanche on it, but like 98% of the volume is on Arbitrum on GMX. So it's basically a decentralized leverage trading platform where you can go 50x leverage long on Ethereum or short on Bitcoin, Ethereum, I can't remember what else, a couple of other coins. But no KYC, of course, and extremely low fees because it's on Arbitrum. So it's a really, really nice product. But here's a chart showing the volume that's actually going through GMX at the moment. And you can see it's slightly trending upwards, but I think coming into the next bull market, this will obviously explode. Not just because the price of crypto will explode, so the volume going through will be a lot higher, but also because there will be a boom of new users wanting to use GMX, in my personal opinion. GMX has a market cap of 595 million and a fully diluted valuation of 900 million. So we talked about that. That's about 60 to 70% already in circulation, which is grand. It has a total value locked of over 500 million, so pretty good. But still, 500 million is quite a high market cap. Another thing about GMX is they're launching version 2 soon. So there'll be much more coins that you'll be able to trade. And you'll also be able to trade tokens like stocks, and so not just coins, you'll probably also be able to trade stocks and maybe other assets as well. Like I mentioned, GMX accrues 30% of the fees generated onto the platform goes back to the GMX token. So the more fees that are going to be incurred in the future, the more the GMX token should increase over time. And as I said, I think the volume on GMX is probably going to go up over the next few years. Now, you don't have to buy GMX. Obviously, I mentioned it's a high market cap coin, or higher market cap coin, but there are other DEXs that are built on Arbitrum and other layer 2s that have lower market caps but are still great products. I haven't used it, but you could use Gains Network. So Gains Network, I'm sure you can tell by the name of the project, that's a little bit more of a degenerate investment potentially, but apparently it's a great product, and it's a little bit of a lower market cap at 230 million. Now, I think DEXs with a lot of adoption, such as GMX, are going to do well in the next bull cycle. But you could also look on other chains, not just layer 2s like Arbitrum. You could look on Solana. I know Serum is one of the biggest exchanges, or an exchange on Solana that is down like 98%. So you can look, you can find coins that have good risk to reward. Although, for example, with Serum, you would have to check if it's still getting volume, if the volume's growing, if more daily active users are coming onto Serum, or if it's just going to go to zero. So another area that you could look at for the next bull run is Ethereum staking coins. So obviously a lot of what I'm talking about is centered around Ethereum, and obviously I'm very, very bullish on Ethereum. So if these categories are doing well, that also means Ethereum is doing well. But nevertheless, the next category is Ethereum staking coins, such as Lido. There are a few other ones as well, but I can only imagine with the Shanghai upgrade that's coming to Ethereum, where you'll be able to take your Ethereum out of staking much more easily, that the total number of people staking with Lido and these other staking services is going to increase substantially. So Lido is the biggest one, but there are others that you could look into as well. Another coin that I think is going to do extremely well, but has not been released yet, is Celestia. I did do a full video breakdown on Celestia. It hasn't released yet, so don't go buying any scam coins out there. But yeah, I think Celestia is going to be worth billions once it does release, because it's probably one of the biggest things to happen to crypto since Ethereum. But the final category I want to talk about, which I think will do extremely well in the next bull market, are gaming coins. And as you can see from this chart, like daily active users, which is like one of the most important heuristics that I talked about, the daily active users in gaming is still much higher than the same for DeFi. So that's saying something. Like, a lot of people use DeFi. There's a huge amount of money in DeFi, but there's still a lot of people actually engaging in these crypto games, which is great to see. And I did a full breakdown of the best crypto gaming coins in my last video. Pretty much no one saw it, but if you want to check it out, it'll be linked for you just there. But the main coins that I'm looking at are Gala Games and Illuvium. But the problem with all of the gaming coins is that there's huge high inflation rates. So there's some of the main coins that I'm looking at investing in this bear market personally. Obviously not financial advice, but I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.